Welcome everybody as the American Space Museum helps you stay curious inside the Hyatt Place Hotel. I'm Mark Marquette here with this guy with the big hat, Triple T. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man, good.
Well, good. It's Friday. We got him in here for a few tales of the White Room, but we are where we're going to do our celebration tomorrow. We are going to, here's our official t-shirt, the Golden Anniversary of the dawn of the space shuttle era, right hot off the press there. And we are going to have a lot of happy shuttle workers, former workers here, enjoying a wonderful program that we have 3 launch directors, 2 astronauts, and a whole slew of
Speakers,
presenters. I wanted to say famous workers and whatever, like Triple T, who is a closeout lead on the White Room, and he's got something kind of real cool here that he's going to show here in a minute. We've got some people in the house here that we're going to have come up and say hi here at the end after we do our little thing about space history today, of course. And pan around there. There's Mark Conklin with the suspenders. There is Tom Usciak in the front row, Carlton Bailey back there, and there's David Houseworth. David Houseworth is a virtual savant when it comes to space shuttle knowledge.
He knows his stuff.
He bought Triple T's closeout crew manual there that he brought in to get autographed and show off. And we're glad that you're here, David Houseworth from Illinois. We'll get everybody piled in here. We may even have a few surprise guests also as we help you stay curious today on April 15th. Tax day. You know, hell, I got my refund months ago. Just what little pittance I've got to take care of. But anyway, Marty's showing you the Hyatt Place Hotel from the outside there on our. This is where we're welcome. We're grateful that they're sponsoring Stay Curious and helping us have an event here at their place. And then Marty put up the Golden Anniversary slide there. I don't have my normal monitor in front of me here, such as going out on the road, but we'll make sure we have one next time. But we want to show you the next slide is the panorama of the 5th floor. Look at that, wherever it is up here in the panorama of the 5th floor that Mark Usciak took. Hi, Mark. I'm sure that you're watching there to help us stay curious. Mark took this,
chime in,
and then he dummied in a launch from pad 39B. You can see 39B really well. Also, there is a good shot of 36 from up here. 5th floor is an observation room that's they can open up the windows, and it's a real draw here at this beautiful Hyatt Place Hotel, Hyatt Place Titusville / Kennedy Space Center. The second closest hotel to the Space Center, because they just built one a little closer to them, the Radisson down the road. But Tom Usciak, he checked in his room here less than an hour ago, and he said it was nicer than the condo you've been having on a timeshare. So there's a good testimonial there. Dana or Robert couldn't be with us today. They're under the weather, bless their hearts. But we appreciate all that they're doing. But look at this scene that you can see there of looking over Kennedy Space Center. In there is the Visitors Center, and a great place to stay. We're going to have a good time tomorrow.
Can't wait.
I'm almost all done with all the planning here. We got a few more window dressings to put on the hotel here. But it's important to us if you'd let us know if the broadcast is clean and you can hear us pretty good. We're not going to use this audio system. I'm more concerned about the video that we're using. I did hear some reports yesterday of some dropouts in the videos. So we're using a completely new Wi-Fi here. We're plugged into the wall, but we don't know how many people in the hotel are on this system. So let us know that it's coming through loud and clear. And important for us to know. Well, Triple T, we got some birthdays to talk about in the house today. Marty, the next slide is the shuttle chart of April. And we're just going to let you see that these are the 16 shuttles that are in April. And we're going to talk about the last half launched in the end of the month, starting next week when we get
That's a lot, really.
all of our
16's
16's.
1 month.
I believe 18's the most,
Okay.
and a lot of them have 10 or 11.
Right.
But I'm going to ask David Houseworth, what is the most launches in a month? Is it 19 or 20 shuttles? I think in September is a big month.
September 12th is a big day.
And how many in a year? 9, I think, is the most they did in 1 year.
9.
Yeah.
1985.
That was about
Okay.
normal.
And they did, so anyway, one of the people that launched 22 shuttles in 3 years, Mr. Jim Harrington is going to be part of the panel. And we had to stay curious with Jim a week ago. It was just so fascinating.
It was really good.
Really good. And yesterday's was really good. Thank you, Lee Starrick, a great leader of the museum all these years. Lee had an excellent show yesterday. Yeah, Marty.
We had several comments. Looks and sounds great. Good sound. Look good.
Okay.
Loud and clear. That came from Robert Law, so Scotland.
Robert Law, Scotland's seeing it loud and clear. So the geo satellite's working good. Thank you, Robert, for letting us know there.
Yeah.
Because we're working a new system here. We plan to have many events here at the Hyatt Place in Titusville. It's a brand new hotel right on Route 1 at the 405 exchange that goes into Kennedy Space
Very
Center.
nice facility.
So let's hit it with the first birthday person today. Is John Phillips. Happy 71st birthday to John. I do have a boy up there, right? There's a man up there, okay. John Phillips, 71. He was born in Fort Belloir, B-E-L-O-I-R. How do you say that? Fort Belloir, Virginia. All right, raised in Virginia. John Phillips, 71 years old. That doesn't seem that old to me, does it, there,
not
Mr.
anymore. No, not anymore.
He has 204 days in space on a shuttle mission and an expended ISS Expedition 11 for John Phillips. And I think he did 1 EVA. Also, born today, July 15th, 71 years old, is Marcia Ivins.
Marcia.
There's Marcia with the big hair in space there. She still has that beautiful long hair. She's 71, born in Baltimore, Maryland. 5 NASA missions, 56 days in space. That is a lot of 10-day missions to be training for.
Yeah.
And I always say they probably train just as hard as anyone that goes to the ISS to stay half a year.
Sure.
You know. But speak of these 2 astronauts. I know we've talked about Marcia a lot on Triple T's Sheriff's
like
Stay Curious.
And he was kind of nondescript. Maybe he did. He fit in, and I don't remember a whole lot other than he was a happy person.
Person. 4 launches there. Out from Cleveland, Ohio. Is our next astronaut. The next slide is Greg Harbaugh. Is 66 from Cleveland, Ohio. One of 24 Ohio knots. Okay, he has 4 shuttles, 34 days in space, 3 EVAs, 18 hours for 3 EVAs. So that's always pretty cool to have that experience. And just one time is probably enough for anybody's lifetime, but to do it 3 times, that's awesome. So happy birthday to Marcia Ivins, John Phillips, and Greg Harbaugh. Hope they're celebrating in good style today on Tax Day.
I think I've told my Marcia story already, or a couple of them before.
Well, tell us one here.
I'll tell. At the museum, I always tell the young girls to pull up that picture because they love that hair in space.
Right.
And but Marcia, we were in the White Room. She worked for me. She was my number 2, one launch, and. She had a little camera. This was before they had GoPros and stuff, and it was attached to a cable into the White Room ceiling. So she wanted to video us closing the hatch, and she got tired of holding it because I also made the astronaut hold the air duct because they didn't have anything to do then. They're outside the ship.
There's a big, 6-inch diameter air duct that's keeping you flowing around.
I made sure because GN2 comes up the side of the ship, gaseous nitrogen. Okay. I have got dizzy standing there at the hatch.
All right.
So I wanted the give the astronaut one something to do, and I wanted the airflowing,
I'm smiling. I just wouldn't be dizzy at the hatch at 195 feet in the air. My knees would be
It's not a good place. It's not a good place to get lightheaded. I'll tell you
Right,
that.
exactly.
So what Marcia did, and somebody out there has to be able to find this picture.
Oh, okay.
So Marcia takes the cam and puts it on top of her head, took ripple cloth rags that we used and tied a bow and we called it the Marcia cam. And she, everywhere she looked, she got video what she wanted.
Oh, wow.
So somebody there I know has to have a picture from the White Room.
Well, let us know.
Launch
Send it
day.
to us at the American Space Museum, Triple T. You've got your email. Is just Travis at the American Space Museum?
I got one there, and I have all lowercase Travis Todd 1D Thompson at Gmail.
Okay.
So people can get a hold of me if they want.
All right. Just good. All right. Well, that's cool. Marcia.
I love Marcia. She was sweet.
Yeah, you involved with her. Like you said, 355 astronauts have been boarded in the space shuttle, 135 times.
Yeah.
And it's like being in a high school. How many of the high school kids of 350, 400 do you actually know? Well, your circle's probably 30 or 40.
That's a good way to put it.
In there. So we know there's some great people that you did chum around with. And,
Oh, yeah.
And tipped a few at the KDI with and
Yeah, I did.
so forth. So anyway, Triple T, you've got something here in front of you. Two
Yes,
things.
very
We've
important.
got some great guests. We're going to look at a couple things here real quick. Let me help you hold that up there, buddy. This is very thick,
big
very
book.
big, very
Big
big. Yep, let's show people how. But the front of it, Marty, if you can do a little zooming in there, some magic. Let Marty do our old school days there, zooming in there. This was up with you in the White Room for a
Yep.
long time. That's STS 135, the Flight Crew Accountability for OV 104 Atlantis.
Yeah.
Take it away,
And
Triple
there's
T.
all my tools. So in here,
There, let's prop it there.
sit it there.
Prop it there, and I'll hold it
This
up.
is this
Marty can-
was 7 volumes of Sioux 7, which is S0007. That is the launch book. There were 7 volumes, so I would put all 7 volumes next to my desk, and I would pick out every page that pertained to me, an astronaut, or the schedule, what was going on. All my tools are in there. I ended up getting my Silver Snoopy because I made this book, and I had the paperwork that the engineer didn't, so I was able to save keep it from scrubbing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But this book, David bought it at our auction,
David Houseworth, you're going to meet
Yeah.
him in a minute.
and he bought it at the auction. He was very knowledgeable, but this is the last book. Unless one of my
There's
other
some cool-
OVCCs kept theirs, I don't know, but this is 135. I threw all the others away.
Oh, my God.
I would sit.
Oh, my
I would
God.
sit at my desk. I'd just open the binder up and throw them right in the trash can, and then I'd have my 7 volumes here, and I'd start building a new book.
Wow.
Never thought about being able to live off of them. I would have kept a few.
Well, that's pretty cool, David. I know
Yeah.
that's a prized possession of yours. And Marty, pan over there
Yeah,
to
this is cool.
Triple T will talk about that. Thank you, Mark. There you go. Yeah.
So
he's going to be telling you to get the glare out.
So this is Eileen, Andy, and Vegas.
Andy Thomas.
Jim Kelly and Andy Thomas and Eileen Collins. They all work for me on my closeout crew team. So I asked Eileen to take the shirt, my t-shirt, up. She took it up, flew it, they signed the picture, they signed the shirt, and here is NASA telling how many 5 million something miles it flew, the patch, the hat, the flag, and the t-shirt. So to me, that's pretty special. You know,
It's so special. It hung in the Cocoa Beach Chamber of Commerce President's office.
Yeah.
You were allowed to do, I thought it was something cool to get you out there, and
yeah.
and they enjoyed that. And,
Nobody's going to see it in my trailer in the woods.
there you go. There you go. And so we're going to have this as one of the the
Display.
displays that we have here Saturday as we celebrate the golden anniversary of the space shuttle
Can't wait.
era, because it was 50 years ago in April that Congress approved $5.5 billion to build the space shuttle. And you're going to hear the whole story from former KSC director Jay Honeycutt.
Right.
Has put together the history lesson for us all tomorrow.
Cool.
Let's see, Jay's going to talk tomorrow at about 1:45, okay. Then we're going to have astronauts Mike. Triple T's going to talk at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Jay Honeycutt at 1:45. Astronauts Mike McCulley and Winston Scott at 2:30. And then we've got launch directors Jim Harrington, Bob Seek, and Mike Leinbach at 3:45 to close the evening. They only launched 82% of all the shuttles, the three of them together. So they might know a little about to share with
A
y'all
little
out
bit.
there. And
I can't wait to see Mike again, Mr. McCauley. I worked for him once.
yeah. Well, he was in the museum yesterday.
I missed him.
He gave a tour for we had a Make-A-Wish
Aw.
girl in there that wanted to meet an astronaut and come to our museum for Make-A-Wish.
Come on and do it.
He was a wonderful experience.
I believe
and-
he still has a house here.
Yeah, no, he lives in Cocoa Beach.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they all get together. No, Mike McCulley's a regular around here.
Yeah, I can't wait to
And
see
Winston Scott's going to be with us also.
Good.
And I'm pretty sure that Nicole Stott's going to stop by.
Oh, wouldn't that be
Which,
neat?
Marty, the last slide. That's right. We got to do our Stottism of the day. Is she there? Stottism of the week, folks.
I like these.
And this is particularly applies to me putting our program together Saturday. Is go slow to go fast.
Yeah.
And
I
that
remember
is
that.
pretty much an astronaut and NASA saying
It
there,
is.
go slow to go fast. And I've been pumping the brakes all week, just saying, you got to take care of what's in front of you. And
I remember
then move on. And
the first one was Lee. Is it Archibald? I never could pronounce his
yeah,
name.
right. Thanks.
And he said you got to go slow to go fast, and I had to think about that, but it made perfect sense. And that's how we did our emergency egresses. We made sure our feet were in the right place. We made sure we were, you didn't hurry it because you had to make sure it was done correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he taught me that, and then Nicole picks that, so I think that's a good
I didn't bring her book as part of her book,
Scott
Return
is.
to Earth, and
We're all
we are. Nicole's been a great sponsor of our museum. Also, we've
Love
got
to
more
see her
things in the
tomorrow.
works with her down the road.
Good.
So we're promoting Stottisms every week.
Yeah, cool.
To kind of spread the good cheer out there of
Got
what
it.
it's like to be an Earthling and understand that we're all on this one planet, and that the only border that matters is that thin blue line that
Yeah.
keeps us all alive. So thank you for Nicole for all you do out there.
She does a lot.
That gal, you follow her on Facebook, she never unpacks a bag, I guarantee you that. All right, so. Well, Triple T, that was some pretty good stories there.
Yes,
We want
sir.
to spend the rest of our Stay Curious time with our guests here. Marty, any comments out there?
Yeah, somebody by the name of Mark Usciak.
Mark
He
Usciak.
said that photo you were talking about. He
Yes.
said put J.L. Pickering. Did I pronounce that right?
J.L. Pickering, he's in the house here. Was
As a matter of fact, we didn't get him on the. You gonna have
Yeah, we hadn't had John Bisney and J.L. Pickering just walked in. There's Tom Usciak and Carlton Bailey there. Believe me, all these people know each other. Travis,
In the field, I guess.
Well, they know each other a long time. Like
Yeah.
you and I, and I'm just getting to know everybody,
Yeah.
and it's
but
it's
you've
really
made
a
some-
thrill.
You've made some good friends, though.
Well, I've invited them all to Saturday,
There we
okay?
go.
Because I didn't have one friend when I came to town 5 years ago, so I invited them all to come Saturday, and I'm so blessed to be here.
I'm hoping.
But
we
really,
have
a good true
turn.
friend of mine has been Marty Winkle there. We
Yeah.
couldn't have done this program without him.
No.
Marty's like the big brother I never had. And we've had a good time, haven't we, Marty, the last 2 years doing this?
In 2 years.
Sometimes fight like brothers a little
Yeah,
bit,
hey.
but that's okay. He's my big brother, and I know he could whip my butt anytime. So yeah, I get in line real
Cool.
quick here.
Yeah.
But well, let's bring Mark Conklin over here. Come over here, big dog. Mr. Mark Conklin is an entrepreneur in Titusville, but more importantly, He is the eye candy of his wife, Karen Conklin, and you've got our executive director, who I love also in a very different way. But how long you been married to Karen?
25 years.
25 years.
I just put that together.
And Mark Conklin, tell us a little bit about how you and your wife got involved volunteering, and we thank him for his donation as a sponsor to help pay the bills for our shuttle anniversary Saturday. That's give you a handshake there and thank you.
Thank you.
The check cleared and we're all doing good.
There we go.
There
That's
we
a
go.
good thing.
And tell us what the business is that you're with
Well,
first, and then we'll talk about the
We'll
museum.
talk about that hat that I wear. I own a Millworks, basically is a rather large cabinet shop. I make cabinetry and furniture. I do some involved remodeling. And it's a spin-off of what you would call, a lot of these guys understand multiple system integration. I was a biomed tech in the military, and my training didn't cross over after a hiatus from military and government work. Nobody was looking for people to repair tube technologies or do transistor board repairs when I came back into the local area. And then me and my father, I wish he could be here today. He put 22 years in on the orbiter program in quality assurance. He started off with Rockwell, and then he opted, because we had been moving around, military family, that we wanted to stay somewhere for a while. So instead of going out to California with Rockwell, he shifted to Lockheed, and he put in 22 years in quality assurance.
I remember him, actually.
You
when I
remember
first
Larry
started.
Conklin, Doug,
Yeah.
played Pinochle a lot.
Oh God, did they play? Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Pinochle?
Oh my
Pinochle.
Lord, yeah.
He's a Pinochle hound.
I never understood it.
We did. He taught us how to finish a forehand
Yeah.
because he was so passionate about it. He didn't want the game to end if somebody had to tap out.
I would stand there and watch it and just, I don't know.
He's a numbers guy.
Was there a lot of card playing in the ONC
Oh,
poker
my
and
Lord.
stuff? Yeah.
We
Hide and
played a
seek.
game called Swish. I lost my Jeep one night and won it back plus $2,000.
Holy
That
cow!
sounds about right.
That's some white room
The
tales.
guys in Vietnam would play Swish, and one of them came back and told us how to play. It's just like Blackjack 21, only dealer takes all pushes, and it's a progressive pot.
Huh.
So I can only lose maybe the $5 I put in. So while I'm doing it, you're betting against that pot,
Well,
so the pot grows.
Good. Well, that's pretty well. How about the astronauts
No,
themselves?
I never,
Not your
they
workers
did. They
there.
played like solitaire and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. All right.
So let's see if I can.
Yeah, Karen and
keep up
Com-
my
Karen-
train of-
Karen and
my,
Company's your,
my train of thought,
Yeah,
and
that.
my memory is intact. Hopefully.
Karen and Company's your business.
Yeah, and that's what I do for a living today. I like working with wood. It's very forgiving.
Yeah.
You measure it twice, cut it once. Pretty low level of risk there if you know what you're doing. Just like any other industry, I struggle to find people of talent. Almost
Yeah.
everybody that'll make it past the initial interview for my line of work is in their late 50s. And that would be because they understand how to use some of my ancient shop millwork equipment.
Right.
And I certainly can appreciate what it takes to put human beings in space, what it takes for me to put cabinets in a home. But back to
You do kitchens and
kitchens,
stuff
baths,
like that.
libraries, commercial work. We do a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of volunteer work for the SPCA, and
I
then
need
of course
cat food.
the Space Museum, and then other entities. We've provided some logistics and support with materials and site labor for a lot of philanthropic efforts. I'm the
Sweet.
president of the Titusville Noon Rotary Club. I've been a Rotarian for over 10 years, and that's a great way for me to plug in and give back to what's been so generously given to me. I've experienced a great education. So I'm going to tell you a quick tale about serendipity.
Okay.
All right, so we moved here in '79.
Is she a blonde or a brunette?
Serendipity. She's mousy brown and beautiful. So and there's only one. There's only one. Okay. I'm gonna sleep in the big bed tonight. by the way.
Okay.
So I grew up a space hound. My father was what you call one of them steely-eyed missile men. He started off in ordnance in the National Guard. when he first went in the military. That lasted for a couple of months before they switched him to calibrations. I was born in the Okinawa Prefecture.
Cool.
And then enjoyed dual citizenship till I was 21, and they wanted to get taxes for all the money I'd made before that. And I said, well, I guess I'm an American, because they'd already got my taxes here. But, that's another side story. But we grew up on bases where there were missiles, always a air base nearby, but my dad was Army, and there was always a bunch of missiles out front. In the late 60s, we moved to Huntsville. My dad was stationed at Redstone Arsenal. And I remember before 73, when that contract was signed by Congress, that
The 50 year, yeah.
that the Saturn missile laid on the ground by the Space and Rocket Center up in Huntsville off Interstate 65. We used to play on it.
That's cool.
And then, we moved away, and we didn't see a lot of what was going on in the world. We were living in Europe. I became a teenager over there. And then we came back. We went right back to Redstone Arsenal. And at the time, they were working out the bugs on glide test for the Enterprise.
Okay.
1977.
So we got to see it come back into Marshall.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yes, I've seen the orbiter mounted, the Enterprise mounted and flown twice, and that's not everybody can say that.
Mm-mm.
But Dad retired from the military in '78, and we did a coin toss. He was either going to go make a lot of stupid money at Browns Ferry Nuclear Plant, or we were going to go and continue with rockets and the space program down in Florida. And me and my brother were going, Florida, 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 Florida. I was obsessed with the X chromosome at the time, and I thought Florida would be great. So we got here, and although I'd lived around the world in some of the most beautiful places I ever thought, when we mounted the bridge going over the train truss at the Titusville Marina, and I saw the VAB, and I saw the beautiful Indian River Lagoon, I thought this is the most beautiful place on earth.
That is a nice view coming over that.
Especially back in '79.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that begun this serendipitous experience. I was in high school, and one of my best friends was one of the stepchildren of Charlie Mars, who used to hang out at his house. So I've known that family since
Charlie Mars, our godfather, I call him, at the
since
American
the 70s,
Space Museum.
and then I went away, joined the military, came back. This has always been my home. So back in 2003, I believe it was, me and my wife were out. She had been working. She had worked her way up into a management position representing Launa labor union workers. So she's had a background in management for a long time, and she was like a regional general manager for the Launa union, elected by all the labor workers, about 22,000 people that she represented in contract negotiations with all the municipalities and government organizations that engaged in employment of maintenance workers and laborers. And she was really good at her work, but she got in an automobile accident, and they took her out of the work loop for a little while. So, time heals most things, and we were just ripe for her to get an employment opportunity. And we ran into a gentleman, I believe his name was Jack Weekland.
Jack Weekland.
With Charlie Mars, had been working in the city of Titusville to do space monuments on the waterfront, and come up with the organization, the U.S. Space Walk of Fame Foundation. And so we bumped into this fellow named Jack, and we were out eating dinner. I believe we were at Portofino, which if you go further back, it was Lorenzo's before that, and now they're making it something else. Location. Who's it? Yogi Berra. Nobody goes there anymore. The place is too dang crowded.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always room for another restaurant in Titusville. Hopefully they got good luck there. But we were there that night. We bump into Jack. We just strike up casual conversation, and something clicked, and they asked her to come in for an interview to do some like office management for this new fledgling organization that they just started getting together to put monuments and do fundraising. And long story short, y'all are celebrating 50 years of Space Shuttle. We're getting ready to celebrate 20 years of Karen working for the Space Museum. And she's done a fine job, in my humble opinion.
She does a great
This is Mark Conklin, Karen Conklin, our executive director's husband. They both been involved with the museum now 20 years.
I'm going to answer that other question you asked me. How long have I been volunteering? Almost 20 years.
Right.
I get voluntold a lot. I enjoy it. It's been a pleasure going back in time, thinking of some of the individuals from the various space programs. From Gemini, Apollo, into the shuttle era, the Mercury program. I got to meet some of those guys. I remember Sam Bedingfield and seeing pictures of him with the plunger and the hard hat behind the dirt berm, and those were pretty cool shots. But getting to hang out with him, and this is what it's all about, the living histories and meeting the individuals, and God rest his soul.
Number was 004.
Yeah, and I also think that was really significant. Other than, I bet there was a bunch of other ones, and he was lucky to be Bedingfield instead of like Zonka.
Yeah, okay. I never.
It was alphabetical.
Okay.
So he the luck of the draw. He didn't get
I'd
the
have had
short
Thompson.
straw.
I'd have been way down there.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, I'm sure there's only a few hundred or 1,000 to start the organization, but that was pretty cool. You see Sam, he used to have his picture up. They're remodeling the Waffle House here in Titusville now, but he used to have his picture up there because he would be at the Waffle House all the time. So he made the picture board at Waffle House. Sam was pretty awesome.
Talking about Sam Bedingfield, again, one of the founding members of the American Space Museum. That was called the U.S. Spacewalk of Fame Foundation, and they built the monuments out of Spaceview Park that we've talked about this week a couple times. And out of that grew the museum as people brought in a box and said, "My dad passed away. Here's stuff we found in the closet."
So we
and
got
literally
his
that's
hard
how.
helmet.
And 21 years later for the museum, here we are hosting what we hope becomes an annual Shuttlefest to celebrate the space workers. That is what it was all about. So.
Yeah. So that was that began this long experience of me interacting with people from the space organizations.
Cool.
I got to hang out with Murphy Wardman and I want to say Chris Ferry and Tom. They were like thicker than thieves, and then Al Kohler Sr. And we got to put together the living map. Now there's this wonderful thing that happens with all you space engineers when you've got a carpenter hanging out. And it was a delight to help them solve some of the more guttural engineering challenges. But I always never tell them that I was a biomedical equipment repair tech, and that was one of the hardest schools that the military ever put out for a technician to work.
Wow.
And they teach you how to work in fluidics, pneumatics, hydraulics, electronics, poison gas, high pressure steam, everything. I'm making noise.
Okay,
Tell me
great.
not to tap the table.
Well, we got some other people to get on here, Mark.
But,
and
I don't know if that was the whole question, but I hope I answered a lot of
we
it.
wanted to get your
And,
involvement
you did
with the
great.
museum, and Karen's in there and all that you
So,
do, and he's always been a handy guy around the fixing things for us and all. But
This
thank
is
you
my
for
2-year
supporting
anniversary.
our
I'm
thing here
excited
this
about the
weekend.
50 years of the Orbiter program. It's made my life, my children, my grandchildren's life possible here in this area because of the people, even my father's commitment and everybody else that culminated the effort, and the fondest of memories. So
Cool.
thank you for having me on today.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We thank you for supporting us.
I'll be
gonna
volunteering tomorrow.
John JL, come over here. We got 2 book authors here. Yes, you're going to be here tomorrow. Get my book over here. We've got in the house here. Have a quick little
Want me to
conversation
move?
with once you slide over there, and they can be right there. You can be there. Hello there.
Hey, how are you, Mark?
This is Mr. John Bisney, okay, and J.L. Pickering here, and they have got. I've got one of your books here. Many of you have this book, the Moonshots and Snapshots of Apollo. There's also one Gemini and Mercury that I'll bring tomorrow, so you guys can autograph it there. These are beautiful, glossy pages, and we got Tom Usciak in the house. He's got a few little pictures in these tomes here, but So show us your newest book here. You're going to be here. They're part of our program tomorrow.
Yeah,
as vendors.
That's our newest book. It's called Picturing the Space Shuttle.
Okay.
And we go from the sort of the beginnings of the program through STS-4. And that's it. So it's called Picturing the Space Shuttle, the early years, because it's all just going to take you up through 1982. There'll probably be a follow-up volume.
The 4 experimental, technically, the 4 test
Right.
flights.
It involves the approach and landing test, too, of course. But people try to put too many flights in their books. You can't put 135 flights into one book.
You're going to miss something.
Yeah.
Not a book you can hold anyway.
That's
very
right, that's right.
handily.
And a book previous to that was Picturing Apollo 11.
All right. Look at that one there. Okay.
And our niche here, Mark, is that if you look at most space books that have photos in them in the library or maybe your own collection, and you look through them, it's basically the same 200 photos over and over again. Every book has them. We've all seen them because they're the greatest hits. And no author doesn't want to have the greatest hits in their book. But we said, wait a minute, this man, J.L. Pickering, an amazing space historian, has got such a huge collection, we could do books of pictures you haven't seen before. So that's our niche. And
Cool.
we would say that probably 80 or 90% of the pictures in these books are either very rare or never before published.
And that's why they're very successful. J.L. Pickering, tell us a little about your background and have becoming one of the largest collectors in the world of space prints.
It's a really tough question, but I've been doing this for about 50 years. I get more and more contacts as the years go by. I find more and more holes to go down to find pictures. In fact, we could probably do it.
We lost audio.
There we go.
There we go.
Got it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I pushed a button. Sorry there. Everybody freaking out on the audio. Yeah. There. We get you there so we can hear you good there.
I was saying that
Closer to the mic.
I have so much material coming in constantly every day that we could probably do a whole new Apollo 11 book just in what has shown up in the last year and a half.
Huh.
So it's
From individual space workers or
it's
fans
mainly-
and stuff just
It's
contacting
mainly
you
from
about
the
it?
archives, a little mix of everything. But when I say archives, I go deep into the archives.
No, us
The
space
stuff
geeks
that-
can testify that
to a
that
lot
I've
of
seen
s-
pictures I never
I
saw
mean,
before.
I'm talking about negatives that probably haven't been touched since they were filed away.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, that's
and
cool. How do you get access to that?
You know the right people, and
Okay.
they start to trust you, and eventually, they're doing stuff for you.
Uh-huh.
It works out great. So,
Well,
and
you
they
have
know
these
we're putting
beautiful
together
books
some
to
good,
show off
they
what
know
you're
we're putting
gonna do
together
with
some
it. Yeah.
quality material here. So,
You two were just at the Kennedy Visitors Complex yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that experience. You sold quite a few books, I
we
understand.
sold 156 books yesterday.
Woo! All right.
We originally thought it was a little less than that, but I got an email from our guy out there, and he said 156. It was a great success. Huge
Good.
success.
How many do you have
So-
left?
Well, we got plenty for the
We got
show
plenty for
here.
the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what's the general? A lot of regular space lovers like us here, but also just the regular tourists buying them and up from
Yeah,
you. What's kind of the crowd
It's
like?
I mean, what we do, we try to write these books so they are accessible to the everyday person who's not really deeply into the program. They can appreciate it too, but as you point out, we've got enough detail in there and unseen photos that it appeals to people who are more insiders. So we try to hit both audiences. Give you guys something new to look at, and for the general public to say, hey, I didn't know anything about that. So.
Well, it's a treat to have John Bisney here and J.L. Pickering. They're well known in the community for these beautiful books that they do here. How does the collaboration go between it? How'd you guys are friends from way back, right? And how'd the
Right.
collaboration go with this?
When we put a book together, we'll put like we're working on a follow-up on the shuttle book right now, and I will pick out 50, 60 photos that I think will work in the book, in this chapter. We both look them over. If we're in agreement, we'll trim a few of them out and have some favorites. But I start with the photos, and I give John what I call basic captions, anything I know about the picture, photo, or dates, that sort of thing, and then John takes off and does a lot of research.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Comes
You,
up
so
with
you
his
do the
twist.
writing, most of the writing?
I do all the writing.
Okay, all right, okay.
Which I enjoy doing. I'm a former news reporter, and I enjoy research.
It is quite good. It's very
dig it in the
breezy
file.
to read these things, very concise. You're gonna always, I don't care how much you think you know, right, David Houseworth, you can always learn something by reading these here. I point to David because he's got a wealth of knowledge. We'll have him on here in a minute. Yeah, I always pick up something, and I complimented them today. I just met these gentlemen. I met John in the fall. But they've got a little, here's a good example. They've got a launch pass that you don't see very often right there. And little pictures of the passes that the media get and things that the contractors pass out there. Like one of my favorite contractor things is the little decal that's a triangle that's got the shuttle and it says go and
Go for FRF, go for pad,
yeah,
go for launch.
yeah, go for launch. And they're quite little, but I've sold them all 5 or 6 of them for like $10 a piece or something like that. Where else are you gonna get them?
Right.
You know, when you
Right.
find them, there ain't a warehouse full of these things in
And
there.
here, let me tell you 2 amazing to me things about the books that we do, because they're unique in this regard. Our Apollo project book and our Mercury project and Gemini, that there's the only space photo books ever done that devote a full chapter to each flight. Usually Gemini's 1 chapter. We give each Gemini flight 12, 14 pages of photos. Nobody's ever done that before.
Yeah, the Mercury Gemini book's my favorite.
And-
Being a baby boomer and growing up with the Gemini flights as a kid. That
And picturing Apollo 11, only book ever, photo book ever on 1 space flight.
Really?
Nobody's ever done a photo book on 1 flight before. Nobody. Is there another one out there? No, I don't think so.
I don't want to bend the pages here.
So that's what we try to do is.
And well, good. Well, we appreciate you wanting to be part of our 50th anniversary here. We hope it bridges, build a bridge between you guys here. We welcome
Yeah,
you to
absolutely.
work out a signing at our museum in the future, or one of your other books there. We're certainly going to keep you in mind on there. Where you live? Where you both live?
I'm over in St. Petersburg.
Okay.
Central Illinois.
Central Illinois.
Yeah.
Okay. And you finally hit the humid time here in Florida. It finally feels like Florida
Yep.
down here. Marty, we got a question or comment.
Right, from Gary Jarrell.
Gary
I'm
Jarrell.
sure other people want to know, where can I find your books?
Thank you for asking. The answer is Amazon.com. All of our books are on Amazon. They're easy to find. You can just search for either my name, Bisney, like Disney with a B, or picturing the space shuttle. It'll pop up, and all our books are there to order from Amazon. Or in
Pickering.
some bookstores you can find them too, but
And
Amazon's a good.
Amazon Smile, okay, your favorite nonprofit. So we get a little piece of this book here.
Good.
And $45 here I see for the space shuttle one, and again $45, certainly worth it. These are heavy bound books that would look beautiful on your coffee table.
And they're often a little bit less on Amazon. Amazon sort of
Really?
prices them based on volume,
Okay.
apparently, and
Yes.
so the price comes up and down a little
Right.
bit. So find a bargain sometimes.
Amazon Smile. What do y'all think about our little conference coming up here tomorrow as it applies to your books and celebrating this wonderful reusable spaceship that John Blaha said we'll probably never have another reusable spaceship for 100 years like this one.
Well, it's an honor to be here, and I was telling John earlier, I thought it was a great opportunity for us to get the shuttle book out in front of some of the shuttle people.
Yeah,
Because
good strategy.
Yeah, because I don't think all of these shuttle folks end up at the gift shop
Right.
at the center to see these things. So, it's a great in for us. So I'm glad we're here.
And what's amazing to me really about the timing of this is, as you say, it's the 50 years since the shuttle was conceived or funded.
By the Nixon
but
administration.
41 years since the first launch. 41 years.
Yeah.
I mean, so
3 days ago.
So it's time
2 days
to recognize all that happened in 40 years. For people, I hate to say, of our age, 40 years goes by awful fast. It doesn't seem like the program's maybe 20 years old. So
I know where I was when I watched it launch. Okay, Marty, of course, was at C12. He was back. Marty's in the big picture back there. Well, it is a personal pleasure of mine to meet these gentlemen. They're very involved in the space community, spreading the gospel, if you will, about the facts that we're so ingrained with. You know, get those urban legends,
Right.
bury those, and here's a very factual book here. And great to meet you guys.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for having us on the
Glad
show.
to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll have you back
Yep.
and do some more to Stay Curious. All right.
All right,
Here?
sounds
Thank
good.
you. Here, I'm going to have you. I'm going to have you sign my book later. Here.
Sure. All right.
Yeah,
We'll take these
that's
away.
one mine there. Yeah, take those
All
back
right,
with you.
terrific.
We'll buy those later. And we want to get Carleton, Tom, Usciak, David. You come up here. We got and Triple T. You can sit over in the corner there.
Yeah.
People are missing your beautiful hat there that you bought. He made a little bit of coin on the last auction, and
Yeah, I did.
in there. But here's Tom Usciak. Hello, brother.
How you do?
Carlton Bailey.
Nice to see
Two great photographers, and Marty Pan over there to David Houseworth. David's from Central Illinois, right?
Correct.
And in there, and David, tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Well, I'm from Central Illinois, like Marty said.
Yeah.
I'm from Central Illinois, like Marty said. Humongous space fan, and when I say space fan, I mean severe space fan. You know, we're talking about like Sam Bedingfield. I was personal friends with Sam. Used to go in his car, go for rides with Sam, go to lunch with Sam Bedingfield.
That's neat.
The space workers, you know, the astronauts are heroes, but the space workers are heroes too. And what you guys are doing tomorrow is just great, and that's the reason why I'm down here. Is because of your program.
Flew down
tomorrow.
here for the Thank
the
you very
program.
much. I know
Yeah.
you support our museum, and
And I got to see my book again.
you got to see your
Travis-
book again. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
he's
Travis-
talking in there.
Travis is always like, bring my manual. I've been,
Yeah.
you know, talking with Travis,
Wanna
and Travis
see
like,
it.
bring the manual. So I brought it, but it's like today, you know, I got to hang out with Travis today. You know, I mean, think about this. This is the gentleman that strapped in our astronauts and made sure they were safe in the White Room. I mean, this is the man. I mean, it's just.
There you
know,
go,
and
man.
these
He
guys-
is the man.
You know,
That's
and
it.
Carlton Bailey. Let me talk about Carlton. When I was in the military, there was a magazine back then called Countdown.
Uh-huh.
This man was the guy how I got my information from, because I couldn't wait to get Countdown magazine. He
That was an oversized magazine too, wasn't it?
No,
No,
it was,
Was it reservoir
it was,
size?
it was printed in the guy's basement. on
There was
an Apple
another one that was
computer.
big, oversized one. Anyway, good.
And,
Yeah.
and this gentleman with his photography. of the
Tom
Shuttlefest,
Usciak?
Yep. And
Legend.
Mr. Bisney and Mr. J.L. Pickering.
Pickering.
I got all your books already. I couldn't bring them all because I got so much weight on the airplane. I had to get off the ground. But, you know, it's just amazing. All of us together. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, I make a point to see the museum on purpose.
Yeah.
And the Travis's book, I bought one of Travis' manuals from the museum, but that one I actually bought from Collect Space. It was
Oh,
on
right.
Collect Space.
Yep.
It was on Collect Space, and I contacted and I said, I want that because it's the only Launchpad manual book out there. It is the only
Yeah.
manual out there. I mean, it's just
Another good friend of ours, Robert Perlman,
Yeah,
his
from
Collect
Yeah,
Space. I
Robert.
find
Great
a very
website.
good website to have.
Great website.
Kind of offbeat stories that you
Yeah.
don't hear see a lot about. Good job, Robert. He
It
was
would
on our
take
board
me
of
a week or
directors.
so to build this book.
Oh yeah.
And to go over it and over it. So when you open it up, anywhere I had to talk, I put in blue highlighter. Anywhere that was a caution or a warning, I put in yellow. And anywhere the launch director or the team was talking to me, I put it in green. So I wouldn't get that doe in the headlight look, you know. Hey, you're supposed to be talking, stupid. And so
You should have seen Travis today when he saw it. You know, he was like a kid at Christmas. My book. I mean, he was like but just, I mean, humongous space fan. I keep extensive notes. When I say extensive notes, I mean I keep records of all the launch delays, who the launch pad personnel were, every space flight, every scrub.
you got more stuff than I do.
I mean, I'm extensive. I just don't.
Well, there's a few of you like a true space geeks there. Thank
Yeah.
David Houseworth. Thank you for all the good comments and
My favorite
your
kind of
enthusiasm.
people.
He's even put together something to help me on Stay Curious with data about all the shuttle missions. Can't
Yeah.
wait to see that. He gave you one. Thank you, David.
Absolutely.
This is what our museum's all about, is building new friendships with people across the country, across the world, because for one goal, we are preserving the birth of America's space age right here in this delivery room,
Yeah.
Brevard County, Florida. How cool is that? And here's a guy here, become a good friend of mine. His little brother's watching there. He should probably be working harder instead of watching Stay Curious. But hi, Mark.
He does
out
his,
there.
he does his part.
Literally, his brakes are still cooling off in the parking lot from coming down from Pennsylvania. And here, thank you for letting us use your beautiful sunset picture
It
of
is a good
STS-3.
looking picture, yeah.
That's STS-3, right?
5.
Oh, 5,
Five.
okay.
That was the first one I ever did at the Closeout.
JL was about to throw something at me and say, it's 5, it's 5, it's in there. If what I'd like to sit down and have some learning on is distinguishing all the Atlas rocket man launches.
wow.
Those are, I'm trying to get the cloud patterns down in the background, but there's a lot of clear days on those Atlas there. Yeah,
I
Jay.
just gotta say real quick, I was on my honeymoon for STS-5.
Oh, were
It
you?
worked right into the schedule perfectly.
Oh, good. Okay. Honeymoon in Florida, STS-5. Well,
I was the number 5 on the Closeout crew.
we've seen a lot of great pictures already from this man and his brother, and we're looking forward to more in the future because anyway, say hi and how are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
Good to be back.
Good.
Wasn't I just here?
He was just here. He did a program with us a week ago Monday.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's a fascinating Stay Curious program where Tom took us into the photo labs. And actually we looked at negatives of different sizes and how they disseminated all that. And I appreciate you being down here. I know you kind of came down selfishly because you know a lot of people down here.
I do.
And that's what we want. We want a fellowship.
Especially
and
JL and John. I haven't seen them in, well, before the pandemic. And so when I knew they were going to be here, I wanted to come down and, of course, to see Carleton and everyone else that we'll run into tomorrow.
You open up the frontispiece of this beautiful Project Apollo, and there, that's your picture, right?
Mark and mine.
There's a Usciak picture right there that is a rare one because you got people there in the what's the body of water next there? Is that the
What do they call that?
turn
I'm
basin?
trying to
is it?
remember turn basin.
Turn base.
That is the turn basin there, right there. Gorgeous pictures, and there's actually a tribute to you and your brother in here by John and JL in there. So tell us about your relationship with them.
Well, I got to know JL first, and it was funny. I think we came together through Facebook, I believe. He posted a picture
Or Ken
of a launch, Ken Havocott too, and somehow it was listed as a NASA photo, and I just texted him and said, "Where did you get that?" He said, "I got it. I don't know. Where did you get that picture of? Carl Christopherson's desk or something? Well, whatever. I don't know." But I said, "That's my picture," and I told him what I did over the years, and my brother and I and the other 2 guys on our team that built all that hardware, designed it, all that hardware, and we just started a relationship that way. And then through JL, I got to know John.
Great. Well, it's a fun business to get into like that, and you have made iconic images that are going to last for a long time. They're in these books, what does your family think about that? Do they even care? No, I mean,
It's a good
Whatever they
legend.
say, they're behind us.
yeah, there you go.
But I just wanted
Well-
to say something to echo what John said. A lot of the pictures you don't see because there's 200 or so that NASA hands out quick and use them over and over and over. In my case, there's pictures in actually their Apollo book, their Apollo 11 book, and the Shuttle book that were laying dormant in my vault, which is actually drawers,
Yeah.
filing cabinets for up to 40 years. And we found they got reborn in these books because I kept the rights to all my photos, and I represented a lot of media organizations, but I kept my photos.
That's good. Yes, I've been
And
there
I was
myself as a
able to-
freelancer. Make sure you get to keep your negatives.
Make
or
them available.
what in there. Well, we're gonna appreciate you being here tomorrow, and you got your camera to help
brought my
document our
camera.
event there. So you on Facebook will be enjoying some professional photos of our event there. Thank you for being involved in that.
It'll
And,
be nice to talk to Hugh again tomorrow.
Yeah, Hugh Harris is our master of ceremonies. 89 years old. He's really
89.
into it.
I
He's-
talked to him yesterday.
He's been interviewing all of the presenters to ask how you want to be on there.
Yeah.
Was he pretty sweet about it?
Yeah, he was. But he does want me to do questions and answers for
Yeah.
about 10 minutes. Something like
Good.
that.
Yep. I'm going to let him just
knows.
do it. So here we have Carlton Bailey, excellent photographer. Carlton's been on Stay Curious, and you've recently you were out there. What was your last rocket launch? And you got a busy Thursday coming up here.
It was, I don't remember. No, it was
The private crew.
the private crew, Axiom 1. Yes.
Yeah, Axiom 1, yeah.
We had actually put the remotes out. The remotes worked fine. It was it surprised us, a nice daylight launch where
Mm-hmm.
we could see it. There weren't a lot of clouds, so we got to follow it, pretty much all the way.
Yeah, really. I mean,
And,
you forget about four guys, just normal guys. One former astronaut, L.A.
Yeah.
Lopez Allegra, but three. I'm fascinated with the one guy up there, 74 years old
Yeah.
up
Well,
there.
there's hope for all of us.
There's hope for all of us, indeed,
When
indeed.
we get the billions.
So you're going to be photographing the.
There's
I
a
alluded to
Starlink-
next Thursday, the 23rd, is another crewed launch. The
no, Starlink is Thursday,
Starlink's going to be.
and the crew launch, Crew 4, has been bumped to Saturday.
Oh,
23rd.
again
Five
Saturday.
something?
23rd,
5.
in the morning or something.
Okay,
like
on the 23rd.
that.
Right.
Okay, all right. Well, that's
So
going to
they-
keep those
they-
Europeans here longer
they-
because
they-
we've had some Europeans in the museum that
They
are here
slid the
for the.
Starlink in there at the last minute.
Okay, all right.
So, yeah, it's a
Well,
busy
Carlton's
week.
going to be here selling some of his photographs as a vendor, and we appreciate you supporting us that way.
Well, anything
All
I
right.
can do to help.
Here, let me hold a $20 bill, and you can get in there.
5 for 20.
Come on, come
Show me the
on.
money. Show me the money. No,
Sure.
it's. I'm always amazed because you do this and you send them out to the editors. The editors, if you're lucky, you get your paycheck, but you never get these thank you notes from the editors. Very rarely. And then the case of like David, you walk in every once in a while, you meet somebody that saw you and read you from the beginning, and
Yeah, it's.
it's amazing. You just never think that you may have changed somebody's life. John Ronkowitz, which is a good friend, he used to eat. When first time I met him, he told me he would.
Another excellent photographer.
He's probably watching today. Mark introduced me to him, but he told me stories about how he would get home. He knew what day Countdown magazine was going to be in the mail, and he'd run home from school in 9th grade, I think it was, and just he had to be there when the mailman got there to get the magazine. So you take the pictures, you take the stories, and I've always tried to take a picture that's not, as JL said, it's not the same picture that NASA gives out. And I like to think that if nobody else likes it, it's going to look good on my wall. You try to do it from a different position, and you try to report all the facts, not just what you think you can condense into the 30 seconds when people want to listen to you. So that's, and we talk to the people, and many of them can remember what these pictures are and tell me so I can remember myself.
Well, we're gonna have a good time tomorrow. People will jog your memory, I'm sure,
I
that you
hope
hadn't seen
so.
in a long time.
Yeah.
So,
Looking forward to it. Everybody
we got
come out.
Christopher Mix out there watching from Hudson, Wisconsin. Thank you for the 200 stars that you've given us. That we do get a check from Facebook. They send a check from Facebook about these stars are worth a penny each. So, Ophelia Sauterelle, she's watching in Normandy, France. Ophelia, there. I think she's got a crush on you, Travis.
Works for me.
Yeah, there you go. Hi, Ophelia. Dave Stange and wife Julie. Dave Stange's got his wife Julie watching up there in Michigan. Hope you have a nice Easter, everybody up there, and you got some flowers blooming. Hi, Melissa Pope. She's at the Office of Tourism, Cocoa Beach, and they really do a good job for our Space Coast here, breaking records every month now. Lisa Marie, thank you for watching. Christopher Parsons, Gary Gerald, Robert Law up there enjoying the evening in Scotland. James Michael Sigler, Keith Sowell, thank you, Keith. Keith is an educator out there at the Mars Experience thing now. He's an astronomy teacher at Florida, Central Florida State. And hi, Keith. Thank y'all for supporting our museum. See you at Astronomy Club on Wednesday. And Tanya Thompson and Cynthia Rossi. You know Tanya Thompson, your daughter.
Yeah.
There.
Cool.
She said, "Don't break that, Dad. I want to
know.
put that in my living room someday."
That is her inheritance.
Yeah.
Right there.
And Cynthia Rossi. Is she a space worker? I think you guys know Cynthia
No, she's
Rossi.
I know her. She used to live in Allentown, which is about 2 hours
Oh,
from where I
okay.
live.
All
She
right.
moved down here. I think she
Down
lives in
in-
Melbourne.
Well, we hope that you've all enjoyed a little bit of a freewheel and stay curious here with some guests and so forth. So, anybody have anything else to say?
Go to the museum anytime you can.
But
Come
most
see us
importantly,
tomorrow.
check us out on our social media channels. We'll be bringing you tomorrow's conference. If the timing gets a little bit off, don't fret. We're going to chop up each. Marty's going to have a beginning and an end to all the programs. We're going to end them like a regular Stay Curious program. So there'll be 8 different segments throughout the day that you can go and find your favorite speaker if you don't have all day to hang out and watch us here. And certainly everybody's busy doing things for the holiday and enjoying a beautiful weekend as summer or as winter is loosening its grip and everyone's coming back alive there. And there's Karen Conklin walked in there with a big what the heck's going on. But anyway, everybody,
Come early, stay late.
we all want you to either watch us on social media or if you're on the Space Coast, come see us at our celebration of the Space Shuttle tomorrow. And until then, I'm Mark Marquette representing the whole gang here saying we will see you tomorrow to what? Bridge the space between us.
Come and see me, please.